young. Let's go get it. It's on up.
Paul to Luke Kennard. Here's CP3. Rebound pulled down by Giannis. To Valanciunas. Waiters. Oh, what a finish. No whistle. That was old school.
When the ball's in his hands, we all knew what was going to happen.
Here we go.
Short jumper won't go down.
And this is where you know you have the offense right where you want them. Every possession, all you see them doing is complaining to the ref, complaining to each other. You're making the game uncomfortable. That's the mark of a good defense.
Here's Paul, controlling the offense.
I got some for him.
To Parker. Jabari Parker. With that, he's 5 for 9.
You know, from a point guard perspective, one of the things that I learned when I played in the league was that the more I was willing to give the ball up, the harder other players were willing to run to their spots. The harder the bigs were running to the rim. The harder the three-point shooters were running to the three-point line because they knew they could be active recipients. And when they caught the ball, they knew exactly what to do with it.
Paul across the timeline. The advantage is 13 points. Waiters to Adetokunbo. Stuffs it down with authority.
Ooh, shows like this separate the good players from the great ones. The good players, they have good first halves, and then they fade to black in the second. The great players, they just sustain that kind of dynamic energy throughout the entire ball game.
Here comes the screen, and they call the foul. Careful there, Jay.
His timing was a tad bit off.
That's his first personal foul. Team foul number 2.
Paul. A bad pass there. Warriors have it.
You go back to the principles. Things that we started working on when we were in first and second grade is called the shell drill. You stay down in the stance defensively, you try to deny the next pass away, and you have to communicate. If your conditioning is bad, you have no chance. But if you're able to do all these things together, collectively, you will be able to stop a great passing team.
Paul. Short jumper off the mark. To Adetokunbo. To Waiters. Luke Kennard pins it. Oh, with the foul. And a chance coming up at the line.
I don't know about that one, Ed. I always thought your hand was part of the ball.
Giannis Adetokunbo at the line for 2 shots. Shooting 50%. Some yes, some no in this contest. Can't connect on the first free throw. So he goes 1 for 2 from the line after hitting on the second. It's Denver's ball. Paul to Millsap. To Parker. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
Attack mode isn't a switch that you can just turn on and off. He needs to do more of that. We need to see him penetrate, get into that lane, and create.
And finishes strong.
Did you see the way that dribble freed him up? It created so much space. I did, but the defender didn't.
Paul with it up top. His team on top by 8. Parker. And a whistle.
That's just a blatant foul. Maybe he's trying to make a statement.
That's his second personal foul. Team foul number 3.
Kennard.
Everybody clap your hands.
To Parker. And the rebound belongs to Golden State. Here's Rubio up top. His club staring up at an 8-point deficit. To Paul. To Parker. Chance for Paul. Not today.
I'm not sure that the contest on the shot contributed to the miss, but what it might have done is seep into the confidence of the shooter that the next time he might decide to try to drive to the rim instead of settling for a jumper.
The drive, right to the basket. Runner's good there.
I wasn't quite expecting him to get there, but I can be wrong. Sometimes, not a lot, but maybe sometimes.
To Valanciunas. Yes, and a foul. He'll have a chance at a three-point play.
So many times we get on the defender for quote-unquote letting the offensive player score on an and one. Sometimes there's a lucky bounce, but more often than not, it's the offensive player who makes the play happen despite the defender's best intentions.
Free throw good to cap off the three-point play. That cuts it to a 7-point game. Here's Paul. Brings it up the floor. To Luke Kennard.
1 minute remaining in the third quarter.
To Paul. The shot clock expires. With the fadeaway. Burns him for the basket.
Ooh, cool, calm, and collective. The 3 C's. His handles are effortless.
I got him.
Oh, ferocious slam inside.
It's easy to become mesmerized when you watch a player who can create off the dribble. We call that dancing. When you allow a player to dance with that much space, that's Prob City.
Millsap to Parker. Has a chance. Parker shot off the mark. Possession lies with Golden State.
Lock up. Don't let him split.
Stuffs it down with authority. Neither side is giving up an inch.
I guarantee you tomorrow on Complex's social feed, that play will have millions of views. And I'm really looking forward to this fourth quarter because the first 3 have lived up to the billing.
Oh, too much contact. Free throws on the way.
This drives me nuts when I see fouls like that being called in a close game. Sometimes you just gotta let them play, ref.
Off the mark on the first free throw. Missed the second as well. Third quarter comes to an end. The Nuggets in front. The Warriors with the basketball to begin the fourth quarter. They trail to this point, but you'd have to say this one's up for grabs.
And the new style we play with in this league, all it takes is 3 quick threes, and you're right back in the ballgame.
Yes, and the foul. And a chance at 3 coming up.
People become so fixated on the hands or the arms or the strengths of the arms. I look at the legs. The strength of his legs help him power through that play. That's how you get and ones.
Rudy Gay trying to cash in on the three-point play. For his career, 79% at the line. Free throw good as he finishes off the three-point play. They're back within a bucket. Now Paul with the basketball. Looking to make something happen. Nothing going here on that drive. Doesn't get the bounce. And the reward, he's going to the line.
The game is too tight for you to be taking risks like that. You want to avoid foul trouble at all costs.
Chris Paul, couple of free throws on the way. He's perfect from the line so far. And hits the first free throw. And gets both to drop at the line. Golden State at the controls. Collison to Rudy Gay. Oh, he had him there for a second. Young. Not that time. He misses. Paul into the front court. They lead it. 4-point game. To Fournier. Now ready to shoot at the line.
I'm watching the coach's reaction right now, and I'll tell you, he's not. About that. The game comes down to the micro details. That wasn't a part of the plan right there.
Oops, he missed the first one. No good on the first, no good on the second. 0 for 2. Got it.
Ricky's never really been the guy to look for his shot first, though he did average a career high in points per game last season, and it all starts with that blow-by first step that sets up his opponent.
Fournier. Scores from the post.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
With the rock, it's Chris Paul. Has a look. Paul's shot won't go down.
Everybody pick up, Dia.
To Young. Rubio. Rudy Gay.
Watch that back door.
Nice pass to set things up.
I'm pretty sure I saw that move earlier in the game. I can't believe he fell for it again.
To Fournier. Leaving no doubt. Slams it down.
This type of game needs to be celebrated. This is the type of culture that is fostered when you play with unselfish players. When you give up a little bit of yourself and you make your teammate look great, that's the difference between winning and losing. So when you see these guys smiling, when you see them giving each other high fives, that's because of the energy that was created from the pass. Pass is one of the most brilliant things we have in this game.
Antetokounmpo to Valanciunas. Whoa, what a finish.
Valanciunas giving you that size, giving you that length, a guy that can extend the defense. But you kind of forget that he was the 5th pick taken overall in 2011.
To Paul. Knocked loose. Warriors come away with it.
Neck and neck, they couldn't get anything on that possession. Let's see if we can get a bucket in transition.
Rises for the slam.
Well, we got a chance to firsthand watch something be created. I think we just watched an epidemic of passing. I've never seen something like this before. It was so contagious, everybody started to do it, and it ultimately led to the other team's demise.
If that's an epidemic, sign me up. To Rubio. Young. He has struggled just a little bit. 2 for 5.
Ed, I get it. I know why Indiana fans love Thaddeus Young. He's that guy that just shows up to work every day and is going to outwork you, outgrind you. They don't make players like that anymore.
And the rebound taken by Golden State. Here's Rubio into the front court. Leads 4. Over to the right side to Valanciunas around the perimeter. Antetokounmpo misfires. It's no good. The follow won't go either.
And you have to remember that your hand is part of the ball. There wasn't enough contact on that play for the refs to blow the whistle.
To Hill. Terrific vision. Nice pace. Sets it up and slams it down.
And the last 10 sequences down the court, everybody's touched the ball. You don't see anybody with any kind of negative expressions on their face because everybody's eating.
And the basket good at the rim.
He's been doing this for years. The physicality in which he plays. No one wants to see that. You're going to leave the game with black and blue marks all over your body.
Paul to Wendell Carter. Short jumper won't go down. Giannis in control of the basketball. He'll run the offense. Just off the mark.
I love when I see a good contest. You're crowding the player's landing space, which naturally makes him worrisome about turning an ankle on that landing.
It's good. Count the basket and the foul.
The defender was actually in a good position there. They even made a decent play on the ball. But sometimes those bounces go the other way. Still, stay aggressive out there.
And he missed the free throw. Rubio picked up by Paul. To Antetokounmpo. Valanciunas. He was smothered and still gets it to go down.
This may sound cheesy, but sometimes you just need to sit back, get a tub of popcorn, and just enjoy the show, because that's what you're watching right now.
Both coaches hitting the reset button. Fresh legs coming onto the floor. Paul to Parker. No, I missed a short one there. To Antetokounmpo. Swings it. Waiters works it up top. Young buries it on the catch and shoot.
It's easy to get lost in the chaos of the game down the stretch, but great awareness by the shooter to get those toes right behind the three-point line.
To Wendell Carter. Parker. To Millsap. Shot from the lane won't go. Grabs his own miss and scores. Good concentration.
Sometimes when the players find that flow, nobody else needs to touch the ball. He's in the zone by himself.
Coach is going to shift gears and adjust his matchups. Antetokounmpo to Rubio.
Trap this, come on, we got it.
To Valanciunas. Big finish at the rim.
An easy two. Get back on defense.
Hill across the timeline. The margin standing now at 7. To Millsap. Perfect feed to set up the basket.
And a lot of passers usually have their head on the swivel, but ultimately, either you have a feel for the game or you don't.
Antetokounmpo to Waiters. Antetokounmpo gets it in the right corner. Curling inside. Thaddeus Young, 4 out of 7.
Might have had an extra dribble or two there, but he got the shot he wanted.
Nuggets with the basketball. Here comes the screen. The screen sets him up for 2.
The defender needs to do a better job of forcing a pickup there.
Giannis with it up top. Leads 5. Rubio goes to the right side. To Valanciunas. They call a 3-second violation. Time for some new personnel into the game. Paul to Parker. Paul. To Millsap. It's Paul for 2. Knocks it down from mid-range.
You see, the Saudi players, they can create contact. They can throw their arms into you, even their bodies into you, and as soon as the refs blow the whistle once or twice and you become hesitant defensively, they got you right where they want you.
Screen coming. Trying to cash in. Rubio can't get that one to fall. Fournier to Paul. Cleans it up. Offensive board. From the painted area, won't go down. Giannis in control of the basketball. Up by 3. Thaddeus Young. With that shot, he's 5 for 8.
Ed, sometimes less is more. Keeping it simple is the best way.
Now a whistle and a timeout for Denver. But this game's in the balance, and time is of the essence. Time to shuffle things up.
Hey, clear out. I got this.
Paul to Fournier. Converts in the paint. Nice finish at the rim.
I love the drive to the basket there. Instead of trying to go around or over, go through.
Here's the call. Intentional foul. Referee all over it.
Smart play. You have fouls to use. Good way to manage the clock without burning a timeout.
Here's a whistle and an intentional foul. 2 free throws coming up with 25 seconds remaining.
Too close to call right now. We're in clock management mode. That was a good play.
Knocks down the first. No back-to-back free throws here. He missed the second. Paul into the front court. His guys trail now by 4. Layup's good. Those are the types of shots you always strive for. It's the Warriors who get the victory as they win a close one by 2. For Jay Williams and all our crew, I'm Ed Cohen saying so long for now. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports.
Rose here, and I've got your EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Warriors almost let this one get away from them, but they managed to get the victory. I could get into detail about their play calling and shot selection, but let's be honest. We all know that the dunks were the most exciting. I'd be surprised if the rim isn't a little bit bent at this point. And that does it for our post-game wrap-up. On behalf of ESPN on EA Sports, I'm Jalen Rose. Thanks for joining us.